are late.
Ricky, how long does it take to put on a shirt that has sleeves?
You know what?
Or doesn't have sleeves?
You
took forever, and we're going to be late to the movie.
Well, who gave me the wrong time?
Nobody. We told you the exact time. You took forever putting on a shirt without sleeves.
Okay, then you had to stop and get candy because, God forbid, you spend an extra $1, you unemployed slob.
Dude, hurry up. You don't have to slow down to listen to us talk.
I'm not. I'm going as fast as I can.
Sounds like a freaking lawnmower, not a car, truck, whatever.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah, you want
get out.
Dude, put your eyes on. What is that?
Get out.
Ah!
What did you hit?
I think it was
I don't know.
Jedi.
We'll get back.
So we just saw Star Wars: Rise of the Jedi.
Rise of the Jedi, huh?
Ricky's living in the past.
And Ricky lives in the past.
We just saw Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker. Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of
Skywalker.
Wrong movie, you are saying.
Right.
So, Holder, explain what this video is. This portion of the video.
So this portion of our video is going to be a non-spoiler. Just a real quick what we thought of the movie. We're not going to go into many details.
Any details.
At all. Yeah,
Just
no details.
Do we like it? Do we not like it?
Did we like it? Do we not like it? Maybe did you have any expectations coming in? You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what do you think, Michael?
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. We'll get into the spoiler version. We'll talk more. I enjoyed it. I think you should go see it. I avoided trailers. I avoided spoilers, everything I could. I went into this cold, and I enjoyed it.
Same here. I ignored the trailers. I ignored any of the reviews. I ignored anything that came up about this movie. I was cautiously optimistic about it because J.J. Abrams, of course, directed this one. He directed the first one of the last three here, and I thought that that one was decent. I thought it was actually pretty good. And he did make the comment that he was going to try to fix a lot of the wrongs in the second one. And I think he did a very admirable job of making this movie good. Definitely go see it if you're a Star Wars fan. Lots of fan service to it.
Yeah.
Go.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good movie. It was definitely better than the second one. Like Holder said, they did it justice. I'm kind of with you guys on the whole watching the trailers and stuff. They've gotten really bad about kind of spoiling stuff in the trailers nowadays. So these kind of movies, it's not a bad idea to try to avoid seeing trailers. It, to me, kind of makes the movie better.
I watched all the trailers because I was looking for something clever we can do with editing.
Of course you did, Ricky.
And honestly, it didn't spoil anything. I even saw a behind the scenes, like somebody working backstage filmed a whole bunch of stuff, and nothing. It didn't ruin anything but like maybe one portion of like one part of the movie. And it was really a throwaway scene. But overall, I like the movie. I think it's definitely worth the build up for this movie. And we'll get into other talking about whenever we get to the spoiler stuff. Did y'all's theater give you cups? Ours did.
Give is a very strong word.
For $2 more, did they give you a cup? Or did they let you have an R2-D2 cup and not put any drink in it like ours did?
I was going to buy that cup, but then when I found out that you could buy the cup but not get drink in it, you'd have to buy the $12 cup. And then basically it sounded like you'd have to buy another $10 drink.
Our theater also had a steel tumbler set. It was one steel water bottle tumbler thing that had two different Stormtrooper helmets and a Kylo Ren helmet for the top. Just out of curiosity, I wanted to see how much it was. $37.
Yeah, I'm just going to pass on that.
I'm sure it's a version at Walmart.
Hard pass.
There's a version on that on Amazon for probably $15.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah.
So, all right. So at this point, we're going to go ahead. We're going to stop the video. We're going to put in I say we in the sense that we're going to do something. Ricky is going to put in a splash screen here that says, if you go past this and this movie gets spoiled for you, it is not our fault. Stop the video now. If you don't want to know anything about the movie, if you haven't seen it, please stop the video. It is worth watching everything. Yeah, there's some predictable parts, but stop it. Go get a break. Go watch the movie. Come back, watch the rest of our video afterwards. All right? So, you were warned. That's all I'm telling you.
Spoilers version.
Fancy lights.
Okay.
All right. So,
Disco. Oh yeah, how do I do that again?
you press the
Top
top
button
button.
twice.
I've been talking the window.
I can't find
Please hold while Ricky learns how to use a lightsaber.
All right. So
You
while
almost had
Ricky
it.
tries to figure
There we
that
go.
out,
Yay.
while Ricky tries to figure, hey, he did it. This was the tale of two movies, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Wait, guys, I
absolutely.
think there's a traitor among us.
The first half of this movie was very clearly J.J. Abrams
Don't
trying
worry, he's not going to be able
to
to hit anything.
just completely fix all of the crap from The Last Jedi.
Yeah, the first part of this movie was definitely a let's take all of this stuff that was attempted and failed horribly
And let's fix
and
it.
fix it.
I don't
Then
think
the second half was finishing the story.
Yeah, the first half, I was really a little disappointed to begin with on the first half because the pacing was all wrong for a Star Wars movie.
I'll say this: as soon as it first popped up, I will say this: the very first scene that we see is ships, so it automatically gets a +1 for me
Yeah,
because that's how a Star Wars movie is supposed to start.
exactly.
A War in the Stars.
Wait a minute, it's not supposed to start in a casino with a buddy movie?
Right?
Okay, from an editing point of view, it was weird how they transitioned from a pitch black, starry night to underneath, presumably, a planet with a sun right the frick there, yet you saw no light or nothing. I noticed that.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah. So this is spoiler stuff. Let's talk about juicy crap.
Did I not talk about juicy crap?
Some juicy crap.
You never said words.
I never said. Okay, I didn't.
You never said words that were spoilery, like the fact that
That it's a tale of two movies?
That raise a Palpatine.
Was that even like in the theory
So
theme?
did anyone see that?
I didn't see.
I saw a few.
The thought
like,
had crossed my mind. I did not think that she would be a granddaughter. I thought she would be a clone.
I could buy that. There was stuff since like the first one that's come out that said, "Oh, she's related to Palpatine," and everybody's like, "No, that's stupid."
I like the whole like she's nobody, just nobody. I
She
would
really
liked
is
that.
a nobody. I kind of dug that
didn't
part.
do it for me because the Force is always interconnected. To end this story, she couldn't have
Although-
been a nobody.
In fairness, she's not a nobody.
She's a Palpatine.
Her dad was the Emperor's son. They walked away, and I feel like that being called a nobody there is more like being called a. You walked away from the fact that you were the son
Destiny, yeah.
of the Emperor.
Yeah.
You became a nobody.
Right, he didn't want to follow that.
He didn't want to follow that path. He wanted to be safe. The redemption of Ben Solo.
Yeah,
I
that
thought
was
was
I
a
good.
think they did
very
a good
good
job
arc.
with that.
That was a good arc. I wish they would have done a little bit more. I felt like they cut some out in editing there with Leia talking to Ben.
Well, I mean, they.
I feel like
I know,
I agree with you. I think you're talking about on the wreck of the Death Star.
On the wreck of the Death Star when
Yeah.
Leia connected
Says
with
Ben,
him.
and he kind of pauses at that point.
That's another thing that
I think there could have been more.
There could have been
yeah.
more there. They didn't have to show Leia. They could have had, like they had 1,000 other times in the movie, had somebody doing a voice double for her.
They could have. It was very Uncanny Valley creepy seeing Leia.
The entire time, you could tell that they were editing her over
it was old footage.
Mhm.
Yeah.
you know,
Some old
every
footage,
scene.
But it looked
CG.
good.
I mean, it looked okay. It unnerved me a little.
now the young.
There was-
I
there was
don't think
one
they did
scene-
a bad job.
it was very noticeable.
I think they did what they could.
think
There
we're-
was one scene where it was clearly where Rey hugs Leia,
Mm-hmm.
and it was the exact same scene where Leia
Yeah.
hugged Han from the first one.
I also think that we're missing the very important part here. The end of the movie,
Chewbacca
Chewie got his medal.
got his medal. Yes.
Yep.
I looked over at Michael. I was like, "He got his medal."
I kind of teared up a little bit when that happened. I
There
gotta
were
say.
like 4 beats towards the end where I felt. I mean, I'm emotional. I'm an emotional movie watcher. I cry at movies, and it didn't quite get me, but I got a few parts where I was like, "Ugh,
So
ugh."
when Maz hands Chewie the medal, That was like a, you know.
I think
Finally,
when Chewie learned that Leia
When
died.
Chewie learned that Leia
God,
died, he
him and
hits his
R2.
he hits his knees like freaking William Shatner screaming Khan in Star Trek.
When R2 did it,
I just
too.
made a Star Trek reference in a
Star
Star Wars review. Haha. That was fantastic. And then when she actually died and R2 kind of beeps a few times and then starts shaking. Okay.
That got
That kind of got me.
They really did a good job showing Chewbacca's grief with Leia dying. The last connection that he has to
Han.
everybody, to Han, to everybody,
Yeah.
is gone because he doesn't have that connection to Ben.
Lando's the only one left that he has any connection to at this
Yeah.
point.
And it was good to see them flying the Falcon
I
together.
also liked the fact that when Leia died, it was 100% grief.
Yeah.
When Han died in the first one, it was 100% anger.
It was anger. It was,
You know, I mean, he lost his cool,
yeah.
started blasting everything. With this one, it was more of that, you know,
It was just everything was gone.
it's all gone.
Well, Adam Driver, I think, play as much as people hate Kylo Ren, and then they want to hate Adam Driver for it. It's the part that he was playing. I forgive him for it.
Oh,
I
no,
think
he did
great.
a good job. He did a
Adam
great job.
Driver's
I never hated Adam Driver.
Adam Driver's a fantastic actor. And I honestly like Kylo Ren as a character.
I think, his character. You really
That
just have
is-
to understand the character.
You have to dig a little bit for that character. We're used to, I mean, and when I say we, I'm talking about all of us. We're in our, mid upper 30s, almost 40 type thing here.
I'm 32.
Okay,
Why do you keep
like I
trying to
said-
make me older?
Like I said, mid 30s.
You're
He's rounding up. Leave him alone.
You have the heart of a 40-year-old.
We grew up on Star Wars. We grew up with that whole Darth Vader was a villain. The Emperor was a villain. They were not cowards. They weren't heel. They were your monster heel, to use a wrestling term.
Yeah.
They had no redeeming qualities. They had no emotion except those negative emotions. Kylo Ren is not that character. Kylo Ren wanted acceptance. Kylo Ren wanted, for lack of a better term, really love.
Yeah.
He was a villain because of the way he was brought up.
Well, the way he was brought up and his uncle.
Well, Luke did in the sense he did it
Yes.
wrong. He read the scene wrong. He
Yeah.
read what was happening wrong.
Exactly. So you
Luke
can't
never
blame
learned from
Kylo
that.
Ren.
Yeah.
Well, I think they did a good job with him as a character, is giving you a villain, like you said, but that also you can see a tipping point where something could sway him to not be just
I think
completely
he was
evil.
begging for it,
Right.
kind of. Yeah. All right. So, anything else where new robot? Which every time they do that, they're just like throwing money out there, like, hey.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
I
going to
mean-
be a
and that
that's
little
going to be
freaking-
a little that's going to be a robot that's going to have an app to control it
talks.
within the
Yeah,
I
next
think they
talk
already
few
have
months.
those
Yeah,
robots at the store.
and-
I think I saw them.
And then they that little guy,
They got the Porgs back.
Yeah, the Porgs came-
but the little dude, the little
Yeah.
repair guy.
Yeah.
Oh my
was it
God.
Bobo?
Bobo,
Hey, we got to see Ewoks
I
again.
forget his name, Bobo Grebo or something like
When
that.
he popped up towards the end on that ship, I was like, oh my God.
That was great. Yeah, it was.
We're going to have to look up that actress. I can't remember who she was.
I recognized her voice. For some reason, they had a Power Ranger in the movie.
I keep wanting to say Rebecca. I can't.
a love interest
I'll put her
ish
here.
for Poe.
Yeah.
I the one thing that I will say that's kind of taken away from me on this is the love angles really got soap opera-y. And I blame that a little bit on episode 8 and creating some of this stuff. They finished it by the end of episode 9, so it wasn't as bad, but again, we go back to those first 3 Star Wars movies. Your love line
That would be episodes 4, 5, and 6, by the way.
Your love lines were Leia and Han. And that's it.
And Leia.
By the
Well,
end,
Leia and Luke, but by the
Leia
end
and Luke,
of-
they teased it,
They
but
teased it, but they never really did anything with it because you quickly find
You
out.
had the spite kiss from Leia to Luke
Yeah.
before they knew that they were siblings. And then the only other love story that was there was the love of a son for his father.
Yeah.
And
But here you got Poe and what was her name? Zara?
Yeah.
Zara, something
Power
like
Ranger
that.
chick?
yeah.
You have Finn and Rey.
No,
you have Finn and Rose.
He was gonna tell her that he's one with them. He feels the Force. That's all he was gonna do with her.
That's fair, but the build up to this was.
I think he just wanted to tell her. He's like, I think I'm Force sensitive.
No, they tease it.
You have I think I fully agree with you that I think he was going to tell her that he was Force sensitive. I don't think he was going to tell her I love you. No. You know, because we do have him and Rose. We have and the possibilities of him and
the other chick,
the other stormtrooper. Chick that
I definitely could see it going more towards a friendship, but there was definitely some underlying
like, hey, you used to
possible love interest.
Yeah, they teased several things with
there were a lot of teasings in there as far as that goes, and I'm okay with it, but I don't know if it was necessary for the story, and that sounds bad.
Could have left a little bit of it out.
It's just how I want my space opera to be less soap opera.
All right, let's hit.
And I'm a little tired of the Jedi being all powerful.
I was just about to say
because they can now physically pass things between each other and teleport stuff. What?
Well, Palpatine tried to throw it out there. He's like, "Well, there's been a connection, not like you would."
There was something supposedly some strong.
You possibly have something special there. But the other thing is, they never really went into and now I'm taking out all of the extended universe stuff because according to Disney that doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist anymore.
Except for the stuff they used in Rebels, and now they're putting
some of the stuff.
Well, I mean, they're bringing some of it back. They're bringing some of it back, but they killed all of it to begin with to give them a fresh slate, and that was the only choice they had.
Yeah, which is perfectly fine. But you never really find out everything the Force can do. You know. Canonically in the movies, we got force push, so you can throw stuff around.
Yeah.
There was lightning that only the dark side could do. There was choke, and they were able to jump around, and kind of dance a bit.
Since
they could use it to sense other people and other things,
speed themselves up a little bit,
empower themselves in a sense.
That's kind of all you had in those movies. The games, Rebel, the cartoon shows, since they've started branching out, heck, even the board game, the tabletop game, they started branching out on what can the Force do.
Yeah.
With the Force healing stuff, that was in
Force healing.
That was in the expanded. I want to say that
was in the expanded universe.
Yeah, and
the Force healing has never, at least in what I've seen, has never been as strong as it is in the movies, where they can just, but you're healed.
Well, it was in a lot of the games, though. It was in Knights of the Old Republic. It was in the Old Republic. All that kind of stuff.
It's
all
also
of the healing and all that kind of stuff.
It's also in something, but then we might be spoiling another thing, so I'm not going to say it.
What?
I mean, it's if you're an idiot, you'll figure. I mean, whatever. It's in the Mandalorian.
Yeah. Okay. So
we're in Star Wars. We're talking about Star Wars.
We are still Star Wars.
We are in spoilers for Star Wars.
So
I haven't seen the Mandalorian, but that doesn't bother me at all that something that's in the movies might also be in the TV show.
But there's definitely room for the Force to expand. So if they want to start expanding this and give it, more powerful for the, those upper echelon Jedi here, because let's face it, Star Wars is a story about one family that are, well, I guess now technically two.
Skywalker.
Yeah, I mean, because it's two.
The top of the power of the Force in the universe. I'm okay with the whole Luke Skywalker being able to, force project across the galaxy. I'm okay with them, handing off the lightsaber and the Darth Vader helmet and the little Omicron thing through space. I'm okay with that. Especially since they kind of showed that Rey and Ben had a connection.
A special connection.
A special deal,
At least it's not like, we can just do all this stuff. There are bad things that happen, Leia loses. She dies
for it.
Doing what she's doing. It's not like
she wasn't as well versed.
Mark died. Mark. Luke died for it.
Yeah, it's not like they can just expel all this amazing power and there's no drawbacks.
Good point. They anchored it.
Technically, Ben dies for it too. Because he gave his life back to Rey.
They established that early on, though, with the serpent.
Yeah.
Of she's transferring some of her life force to him to heal. or to the serpent heel, which she then later does again
Yep.
to Ben. And then, so they established that that's what Ben was going to do. And she was, for all intents and
dead.
purposes, dead. And he had to transfer all of his life force to her.
I did
bring
really
it
like
back.
the fact that he ghosted.
I
He didn't
enjoyed
just stay there
that.
dead. He just,
I was very disappointed that he was not standing with Luke and Leia at the end
Me
on
too.
Tatooine.
Yeah,
me too.
that's a
Although
good point.
the
He had to train for a
part of
long
me,
time to get
part of
that.
me was upset about it, and the fact that
You had to train hold on. You had to train for a long time to get that.
part of me was a little
Vader
upset
was
about
able
it.
to do it after just turning good like that.
Our review
So-
is being
So okay,
watched from outside.
so part of me was a little upset about it in the fact that he wasn't there, but the other part of me is that is the closing of the chapter of the story of the Skywalkers.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically her taking the name.
All the Skywalkers are gone.
All the
Yeah.
Skywalkers
Speaking
are gone.
of,
Although now
I mean, she's calling herself Skywalker,
she's
but
calling
she
herself
isn't.
a Skywalker.
before
So-
I forget
I
it,
think she was basically trying to, because both of them had done so much for her. She was trying to say she lost her parents young, and she considered them like
Their parent,
they
yeah.
taught her, they raised.
Yeah.
all right. The CGI they used to show young Luke and Leia, Leia was a little weird, but I liked it. That was really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't expect like it to,
No,
when
what
the
are you
thing
talking
went
about?
up,
Young Luke and Leia.
when
Where at?
their visor went up when they were
The
training.
one,
Oh, yeah,
that
the
one
training.
training scene
Yeah,
between
that
Luke
was-
and Leia.
I
That
kind of
was a
like
little.
that. That looked really good on
It
him.
looked good. It was a little weird though.
Well, they used it in dark light.
And I gotta say, I think that they've really found a good balance between the lightsaber duels from the original trilogy versus the prequel trilogy.
the lightsaber
Yeah.
duel was good. They showed exhaustion. They showed.
Well,
like,
they weren't over the top like the prequel trilogy became, where they were flipping all over the place.
Right.
Like, hey, we have lightsabers. We must
And
use
they
them
weren't
for
as
50% of the
slow
movie.
as they had to be for the first ones, when they just didn't have the technology to do what they're doing.
Not wrong.
They showed two people who actually could fight, and it looked like a real fight, not some fantasy CGI thing.
Right.
well, at the same time, neither of them had complete training at anything, so it really kind of showed as well.
Yeah, it showed that there were points where they weren't precise. They were
Yeah.
just swinging wildly, and I like that. That said, I think it's about time we wrap this up. We've been talking for a while now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think somebody outside
course-
might be getting cold watching us.
Of course, the first part we said all of us agreed go watch this movie.
Definitely.
Let us know what you think in the comments. Were we right? Were we wrong? Are we stupid?
Yeah.
Are we just being old men who are stuck in the past?
Please like, share the video.
Yep.
comment, subscribe,
Well, he just said comment.
comment even more.
Yeah. So
Actually,
just let us
comment.
know. Let us know so we'll continue to make more of these. Or don't let us know and we'll continue to make more of them to punish you.
Yep.
Hey,
Either way,
Either
we're
way,
making more of
we're
these.
gonna make more of these.
Yep.
Yeah.
So y'all have a good night.
Yeah, have a good one. May the force be with you.
Ricky, edit this, you will.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was like totally about to do it, but he just won't shut up.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. All right. Quit directing.
He's just like, all right, give me a hold on. Just do it. Give me a hold on.
Be the steering wheel.
Hang on.
Okay.
You good?
I'll work with
I love
that.
how me and Sims didn't do anything at all. Of course, you can only see my shoulder, so it doesn't matter.
No.
I'll just written it off.
Okay, we're done.